Empaths, light workers, blue rays, all the above. This message is for you, my loves. Those of you who are actively trying to do the work. It was very, very clear guidance to assist in why it's so important. And so how you can help with everything that's going on right now, how an individual can help, because I'd like to remind you that your radiance, and I'm actually working on the diamond right now, but our individual radiance, the diamond DNA that is encoded within us, if you can think about your world, okay, so all the people that you have existed through and met all have a beautiful connection. Now, first and foremost, we are removing the ties, the emotional ties to all those connections so that we can stand as pillars of light through and through our divine radiance. But then also we have the emotional rung of the frequency field of light that we have here on earth. And I will break that down, so just stick with me, that we're also learning to work through. So your diamond radiance has the capacity to impact everyone that you have ever come into contact with just by being you and just by doing the internal work. And so what I mean by the internal work, if I ask the question, what is weighing heavy on your heart right now? You allow yourself to sit with that. If you grant yourself the time, make time to journal. What's weighing heavy on my heart? Write it all down. That way, you get it off of your heart. You get it off of your chest, okay? You remove the weight. Then I want to take it one step further. So we have a lot of people that are focusing on the manifestations. We're focusing on existing up here through plant-based medicines. But what we don't have a lot of people doing and honoring is the integrative work. And that is the work of going into the shadows, the pain body, the depths of our soul that we have existed in through our pain. That is where the true help is. And everybody's job and role is very important. But if you're here, then you know that you are meant for this work. And so I want to break it down so that you can have a greater understanding of why it's so important. So if you look at the playing field of the emotional spectrum of the energetic frequency of our bodies, of our emotional integrity, of the codes in our spine, but also the frequency codes of emotional intelligence. And so we have rage, shame, guilt, judgment, apathy. Help me work up the rungs of the ladder. We'll start with those. So a lot of people are waking up now to absolute chaos and destruction and despair. Okay, so in the darkest of moments, that's when we find hope, compassion, love. You start really paying attention to what really matters to you. What really matters, and when we say matter, we mean in the form of materialistic space-time. Okay, your soul is going to hear what I'm saying. So please just allow these words to kind of ruminate in your body and take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So the way that you can help and best serve is by doing the individual work. And I know that this part is kind of icky. However, if you're truly wanting to help impact and make a difference in the world at large, we must start within. And the internal work begins with what's weighing on your heart, and then also how we unhook from the lower rungs. We seal and solidify that playing field for ourselves, and then we work up the ladders of the playing fields to exist in the higher realms. But if we're constantly working on the manifestation and we're not acknowledging the pain and suffering that we still exist in, while you can swing in that pendulum, swing back and forth, you're going to remain in that space. And so that's why it's so very important to get precise and crystal clear on what we're working with, so then we can remove it from our vessel. We can then seal the playing field off, And so by you sealing the playing field off of guilt and shame, you also do that for everyone who has come in contact with you. That is how beautiful and divine each individual person is. The single solitary you that is so magnificent and bright and amazing and glorious. And the work that you do on yourself has such a miraculous impact on everybody else around you. Now, there will be those that choose to stay in the lower frequency fields because they still have lessons to learn. Forgive them, let them go. They must learn in their own timing, and timing is everything. And you can say your prayers for individual people, but ultimately in the soul's evolutionary journey, we have to let go those that are not willing and ready to learn, ears to hear and eyes to see. If they don't see your radiance and they're not willing to hear the words, hear the sound vibrations that you're speaking through with love and compassion, that's okay. There are people that are ready to hear, and that's why I'm speaking up about this right now, is because I know that there are those of you searching for this information that are ready to hear these messages. And so we'll get into the actual work of it, and I actually have a guided meditation. It is one of the first or second videos that I posted on my YouTube channel about releasing guilt and shame. I can upload a new one now if that would be of help for you all. And so what we do is you basically, and this is where I ask for you to have complete open ears right now, because the ego will feel resistance to this, but the resistance that you feel is the shaking of you essentially knowing that you're going to remove and finalize the clearing within your divine vessel, within your soul's blueprint, and the evolutionary ascension process of you as the being on this earth. Okay, so we're going to take shame and guilt because that's the first ones that we work with. If you are elevated and you're working through judgment, forgiveness, take whatever emotion has been plaguing you. Okay, so take it and separate yourself from it, remove it. This is the emotion, it is not me. That is the first thing that we must do. It's the emotion, it is not you. Okay, the energy in motion is just that. And when we learn to allow it to move through us, it doesn't get stuck in us. But if it is stuck in you, it is because you still have a scar that it can attach to. Okay, so we're pinpointing the scars. Most of the time, like I've said in a lot of my past videos, it is a version of you that you left, or that something happened in your life and you felt a certain way because of it, but then you really didn't go back and talk to that version of you, that beauty that is you, and tell them, hey, we can move on from this. We can love, we can learn, we can have compassion, we can show ourselves grace, we can be honest with ourselves, because in this grand playing field of the heavenly realms and everywhere that we exist on earth, everything is safe. Everything is protected. Everything is loved. However, the mind, and when we exist only in the mind of the ego mind, the pain body, then the mind will play tricks to keep us enslaved and to keep us hooked on to the lower rungs. So now that we have acknowledged the emotion that we're working with, write it down. Gift yourself time to sit and write down all of the storylines that you hold this specific emotion around. So we're going to work with guilt because that seems to be the easiest. It's not easy, don't get me wrong, but it is the one that plagues the most. And that's why so many of us will not unhook from that realm, because we don't want to go there. But the only way out is through. We must walk through that space in order to, like I said, solidify it. And essentially the waters come in and cleanse the area, and then the ground can grow up and through to higher elevated spaces. So you write down everything that you feel, every memory that pops up. If you're hearing me right now and you're still with me, these memories that are surfacing for you, witness them. Just witness them. There is no reason to allow yourself to go into any worry. There's no worry in this playing field. And a lot of times in my journey, because I didn't have assistance really, it was kind of what my soul was leading me to do. I quite literally had to look around my surrounding areas, and thankfully most of the time I was by myself, and remind myself, I'm safe in this area. There is no one here. It is just me. I am safe to allow myself to go there and feel this. And while the feeling seems beautiful and painfully liberating, the liberation comes on the other side of that rainbow field. And so that's why it's so important that we really honor these emotions at this time, and how we can help make the biggest impact on the world at large and the playing field at large. And so if each individual person elevates, waters and nourishes the ground beneath them, roots back into the ancestral beauty and elegance and grace and femininity that is creation, the portal of creation, the feminine body through creation, the whispers of the spirit that is through creation, then we can then take action through the masculine. The masculine says, okay, I am not afraid of this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go in and nurture and then come out alive. So both play very, very important parts, the masculine, feminine within us. And as we do so, we essentially merge the column. What I'm seeing right now is that we come in, the inspiration comes in, flows in, and then we kind of expand and open the space of each energy center. We kind of like interweave in the energy centers. And it's kind of like a lot of the visions that I see are a lot of us doing this work so that we can use our vessels in the divine radiance that they were always meant and created to be. And that's why we are here, to be the bridgers of the heavenly realms that exist right here, right now. There is no separation. We're in them, and allowing all others that choose to be in the same playing field, that choose to be in the higher elevated states of consciousness. And I was speaking with a gentleman this last weekend, and he kept referring to death. He kept referring to death. And from my experience, it is the ego death, the ego that we must soften and say, hey, we're okay. Fear and the worry and the doubt and the shame and the guilt is no longer going to plague us. We are going to do the work and smooth these grounds over with love and compassion and grace. And then we're going to move on, and we're going to continue working in these playing fields until the body is the vessel that's here, but our aura and our expansion and our expanded being is everywhere, is all things and nothing at all. So yeah, let's see. Boy, that just came right on through. What's weighing heavy on your heart? Acknowledge the emotion that you're working with. Remove the emotion from your body. And this is just very simple. Whatever emotion that is surfacing for you. My last one was jealousy. I can be completely honest about these things because I want to be transparent and I want to be an open book. Doing this work and dedicating your life, there are a lot of people that don't understand the work. And so it kind of falls on deaf ears because there's a lot of people that are not choosing to do the work right now. And there was a version of me that was jealous because I see all these people out having a great time and what seemingly living their best lives. But then if you really get into the nitty gritty of it, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of sadness. There's a lot of emotional turmoil going on in the internal vessel inside of us. And my work was do this work first and the rest will fall in line. Do this work first and the rest will fall in line. And so while I was able to sit with jealousy And I cried and I apologized and please forgive me for these feelings, but it was my honest truth. And that's why I come to you. If we can be so honest and so forthcoming with the truth of what we feel, then we get it out of our vessels. It's no longer taking up space in our internal vessels. And then we can have this space to work through it. And I will call your attention to the space between seems wild. It's like Never Never Land. It's La La Land. It is the void where nothing is there, and just being at peace with no thing, being at peace with nothing, to be filled with everything. And each layer that you break through, you will have a space. And I can speak from this honestly. Every time I had a breakthrough, and the vision that I had gotten was like, we're in this house, this playing field house of the frequency emotional scale. You work through it, you recognize everything that's happened in your life, you forgive yourself, you forgive all others, and you essentially like break through the ceiling, you break through it, and then you get to another playing field, and it's like, what did I do wrong? Am I back at square zero? Am I back at ground zero again? I will remind you, you have done everything beautifully. You are always exactly where you need to be to learn the life lessons that are necessary for you. We are just teaching and in training the intuitive voice and the whispers of the soul so that we can hear for ourselves and use discernment for ourselves, so that we can stand in our authority, stand in our power, stand in our sovereign divinity, and create something that is in service to humanity, that fills our cup and is helping the greater good. So I would like to just remind you, yeah, the void that you feel, that space between, will feel uncomfortable, and you're kind of like, what do I do with myself now? And so just do something that brings joy to you. Write down things that actually bring you joy. That would be another thing to start journaling about, is what am I doing for myself that is really self-care? Really write down the things that you want to do for yourself. Like me personally, I love working out, but working out is kind of just something that I do for myself every single day. While it is a part of self-care, the massages, or sometimes taking a nap, allowing myself to sit in silence and just read a book, taking a hot bath, really honestly, just getting into my artwork is so much self-care for me. So find the things that work for you and implement those for yourself. And then when you're ready to break through, and allow the tears. That's the most beautiful gift that we can give ourselves, is when you feel that emotion start to surface, please don't swallow it back down. Allow it to come out. Allow it to be removed from your vessel. And if there are severe pain that you hold around these emotions, it may feel like it. The way I kind of describe it is, it feels like this black tar that attaches to our body, and then when you start to remove it, it's like a pulling or a separation of atoms almost. You're removing the old, you're removing the density, you're removing the pain, and to remove the pain feels like a separation, but the separation reveals the clearing, reveals the emptiness, reveals the void, so that new can come alive. And you will get little tests, or you will be little things playing out in your reality of this is just a test. I'm being asked if I want to go back into the old playing field. It will test the whatever emotion. If it was guilt, shame, judgment, if it was jealousy, there will be a test that will show up in your reality for you to go, oh, this is trying to play on my jealousy again. And I'm done with that. I choose abundance. I choose gratitude. I choose welcoming of my divine inheritance and my divine gifts. I am paying myself with love, with joy, abundance, and wealth. And so that's where that playing field, if you will. And then it's essentially like, if you just kind of ignore it, or Some people say ignore it and it will go away. For me personally, it was showing it compassion and love and saying, hey, because for me personally, it was a version of myself that felt slighted is the word that comes to mind, but that felt left out, misused, taken advantage of. The versions of myself that were guilty, that felt shameful, that had judged others. So I had to talk to the versions of myself with compassion and love and saying, hey, we were doing the best that we could. We are amazing. We know we are. We're worthy of so much more, and we're worthy of love. I love you. We don't have to stay stuck in this place anymore. We can come home. We can come out of that dark cavern, that room that we lock ourselves in. And let's see how much time we've got. Oh, I've got 5%. Okay, so we're good. I'm going to wrap this up. So that is the message for today. I felt very guided to do that. I would like for you to remember that you do not need me, you just need you. And yes, this is a vulnerable task that we're asking, but that is how, if you want to really help, this is how you help the collective. And when you are done, when it is out of your body and you have seen it there, we ask for the highest light and residence of the divine will of God to seal the layers of the emotional playing field for our highest and best good and the highest good of all. And you can seal it with a kiss. Mwah. It is done, it is done, it is done. And so always and in all ways, say your prayer of protection when you enter these spaces if you feel like you need it. And then when you are done, this is done. It is finished. And that way you seal it off and you alchemize it for the greater good of all. So it is an honor, a blessing, and a privilege. I'm Jennifer Renee. This is Within by Jen. It's within you. It's within each and every one of us. The kingdom of heaven is found within. And we are remembering that, stepping into our divine roles, or are in our divine roles, and receiving the blessings that have been promised. And it is an absolute glorious honor. I love you so very much. And I will see you all in the next video. Mwah. Happy diving.